Hi everyone, my name is King IV, and this is the third lesson in a series of probably 5 lessons on SAP Lumira. And what I'm going to show you is some advanced charts. And I actually lost my module 2 data, so that's why you don't see any of the visualizations here. So first thing I'm going to show you is how I actually had to save. So you go to File, Save As. In this case, I called it Tutorial. You'll save it. And then if you want to open it up, you just go Import Folder 2, and then just select the file again. Pretty straightforward, but really, really important as I just recently learned. So I'm actually gonna get rid of this. So what we're gonna cover is we're actually gonna cover geomapping first. So everyone loves maps; they're just really great. And what we're gonna do here is we are going to go down to State. And we're going to create a hierarchy by name, and you'll see that selected region already as state, which is good. And we'll select city here. We'll click confirm, and you'll see it actually wasn't able to resolve majority of them, but we'll just leave it as is for now. You can go and resolve them later, but I think we have enough data to allow us to go and do the visualization. So first thing we need to do is select our geography. So in this case, I'm going to select region, and I'm going to select my values. I'm going to select it as sales. Pretty easy, pretty straightforward. You can also make it different colors if you want to. For example, you can do order priority, and you'll see all these different charts. In this case, I'm just going to eliminate this one. Or you can, for example, region. You can see the different regions and what states they cover. So that's pretty interesting. I'm just going to leave that as is. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to the drop down list, and we're going to select a couple different type of charts. So I'm going to change this, instead of sales, I'm going to change this to, get rid of this, and I'm going to use profit instead. And here you'll see this color chart is, you can also double click, and, well, actually it's more right click, choose the color, and you can modify the color to whatever you want. So you have the red, green, blue option, or you have the hex options, and definitely lots of different colors types. So I'm just going to make this a dark red wherever it's negative. So you can see here Idaho and New Jersey are negative. So good, really useful, very handy. And what we're going to do next is we're going to do pie charts. Should be really interesting here. So instead of doing profit, we are going to do sales. And it's going to ask for our overlay information, which is basically just the segments that we want to use. In this case, I'm going to use product subcategory. So you can see, actually, let's use product category. I think that'll probably be better. A little bit easier to see. Perfect. So you'll see that there's one more map option, but that one's actually restricted to the standard version. So we're going to move on. And next thing we're going to do is cover scatter plots. So scatter plots are usually something pretty simple, but in SAP, not that it's not simple, it's just that there's a lot of options. So I left it to the more advanced section. Here we're going to make the x-axis sales, make it the y-axis profit, and we're going to make the color legend, let's say product category, and we're going to add in order ID just so we have some. Perfect. Really interesting. You can also say, for example, give me the top 100 sales or 100 profit ones, but we're going to leave it as is for now. And you can also add in shapes and animations, but we're just going to leave it, and we're going to move on to the next one, which is the bubble chart. In this case, I'm going to get rid of order ID. And this one I actually find kind of weird. The bubble chart actually for the separately the height and the width. I really think they should have stuck to one, but I'm just gonna leave it as is right now. And you can also make the height profit, for example. So you can see like these funky shapes, but let's just leave them for now. So you can see here the different product categories, how they're doing. And the next chart, this is actually really interesting. So if any of you've ever used R before, this is very similar to like any stats tool. This is very similar to like a correlation matrix. So we're here, you see you have sales versus profit. So it's pretty straightforward. Nothing really interesting here. It gets really interesting when we start adding discounts. You can see now you have the matrix, and you can see the various relationships that can show up. You can put like order quantity, for example, and see the relationships. And let's actually add in order ID here, so we can see them more detailed. Okay, there's too many here. It's probably because we're using the unfortunately it's because we're using the desktop version. We can only show so many points. So actually, let's get rid of order ID. Let's add in back in discounts, just so that we have that relationship. And we're gonna move to the next one. Next one we're gonna cover are these heat maps. It's pretty straightforward, pretty easy. We're gonna make the color profit, and we're gonna make the areas, let's make them product subcategory. Let's make the area 2 customer segment. So you can see here your different heat maps, different values. You can figure out where there are really major profit areas, and as well you can change the I don't want to do exclude. So if I did click on exclude, so I can go here. I'm going to right click, choose the item color, and I'm going to make this bottom area negative, red, a very dark red. So you can see where all the areas of concerns are. So really easy heat map. I actually really like this heat map. You can also do a tree map. It's a little bit more traditional. So you can do the area weight as, let's put it as sales, for example. So now you can see the relationship between profit. So for example, here you can see that there's a lot of sales here, but you can even get rid of a segment if you want to simplify it. You can see tables has a lot of sales, but very negative profit. So you can really easily see the relationship. And as well, you can change, like show data labels to show the amounts. But really easy, really simple. Actually really like this in SAP Lumira. So we're going to add a new one. And in this case, we are going to, let's do these other charts. These actually cover like a huge variety of different charts. So we're going to go with the box plot. Box plot, very classic chart, totally underrated. Let's do product category, and let's make it profit. So you can see these, and let's make customer segments. So you can see the different product categories and the customer segments. Actually, let's see whether or not it's going to let me do it. Nope, it's not going to let me do it because there's too many lines. Let's actually do it by customer name. So here you can see the different customers and how much they actually order and what the different box plots are showing. So really cool, really useful. I really like that chart. Another chart we're going to do is this classic funnel chart. People really like this chart. This is actually a great way to show sales generation. So here we're going to click on sales, and let's just go to, this makes more sense if there's a natural flow, but let's just put it as order priority. So you can see what you typically would see is this is the first pool of candidates and how many sales went through, how many leads did we have, how many of those turned to qualified leads, how many of those turned to conversions, returning, or however you want to do it. It's just a really great chart overall. These different network charts. So actually, let's move on to, I'm not really a big fan of these two charts. Let's go to this radar chart. I actually really like this one. So here we need to select a measure. So I'm going to select profitability. I'm going to make my branches product category, and I'm going to make my colors customer segments. So now we can see here what the relationship between the different the profits, and relating to see a corporate, for example, is very strong with technology and pretty strong with office supplies, but pretty weak when it comes to furniture, and that might just be furniture in general. So here, I really like this chart. This is actually really interesting as well. You can add another dimension here if you want to. You can select, for example, see if it's different by region. Actually, no, you can't select that while you're doing it. But let's just leave it as is. This is a really interesting chart. You can change up your measures as well. Let's add in sales. You can do a multi-layer one. Actually, really don't find that quite that useful. But you can see how the dynamic changes, where there's actually quite a bit of sales in furniture. So I really like that chart. I'm a big fan. Another chart, you use these tag words. I'm not really as big a fan on this one, but you can, for example, click on state and figure out the weight. Let's make it sales, and then let's make the color profit. And then let's again choose color item, make the last segment red, really red, so we can figure out who are the issues. So if people like word diagrams, this is a really great chart to use. And there's a few other ones you can do. I'm not really going to get into it. You can do, for example, waterfall, pretty quick and easy. This is actually super quick, and this is what I really like about SAP Lumira, is that it's very extremely user friendly. In some ways, that's a really positive thing. Allows you to do all these really advanced charts without too much thought or too much effort. But it's also not so great in the sense that it's a little bit harder to manipulate and to customize, but hence the trade-off. So look forward to speaking to you in the next lesson, and I will speak to you soon. Bye.